My name is Jerry. I left MAGA, and I'm here to spill all the tea. In this particular episode, I'm going to be covering a character by the name of Kat Kerr, and I've been looking forward to getting to this episode. I'm going to have a few like this that bring me personal joy, and let me explain. When I was in MAGA, I spent a lot of time hanging out, doing live streaming. I was hanging out on panels with other live streamers, usually quite often by invitation, until I started asking too many questions. Go figure, right? So anyway, uh, I just wholeheartedly declared one Sunday afternoon on the Beers and Bros show, Kat Kerr is a false teacher. Well, there was a gal sitting on the panel, and I'm not even going to give her handle, but anyway, she became visibly agitated. She was ready to fight. She was ready to fight. So let me go ahead and switch over here. We're going to talk about Kat Kerr again. As you can see, I'm using that setup where you can see the dates. I'll have links to all these videos. I'm just using videos. I think I got them all from Right Wing Watch. But anyway, some of these videos we're not going to watch the whole thing. Others we will. But in the meantime, let's let's yeah. She took authority over a volcano. All right, let's just check this out.
So we're going to speak against the volcano also. And so we say we take power over all the power of the enemy, trying to use that volcano in any way to bring destruction. We command the host of heaven to go and begin to affect the lava flow, the direction of the lava flow, because we don't want it flowing towards people's homes or in general in areas where people are living. There's some parts of the island they don't have people on there. So I want the host to redirect that lava flow and begin to shred it.
All right, so as you can see, she's like she needs help. This woman needs help, and this is from back in 2018. This gal's been around for a while. She works with Ken Copeland. I she will get folded into more of this story later. But she's talking about saying prayers and commanding angelic forces to change nature. As far as I understand it, people who would build a house on a volcano realize the risks that they're taking, but it's part of their ancient culture. Their or maybe not even ancient, but culture from antiquity. People who live in those environments generally understand what they're doing. Anyway, so she is promoting prayer for managing lava flow. Um, Again, from 2018, God told Kat Kerr the results of the next 5 presidential elections. One missed prophecy makes one a false prophet. At least that's what I was taught. But let's see what Kat's got to say here.
Tell me just a couple of things about what God had told you months and months ahead of time before Trump.
Even before Trump ran, even before that election was planned, God had been telling me that I'm going to make America greater than ever. It's about to step into its destiny. But I can't start this until I shift the government. And there will be a president in the White House one day that will extend their hand to the believers. So I knew that was coming. And when he told me that, he called me up to heaven literally months and months and months before, and he said,
Oh yeah, yeah. This woman thinks that she travels back and forth between heaven and earth. I I got a couple of clips that I contemplated whether or not folding into this particular video. I may end up having to make a supplementary on Kat Kerr, just just because I personally think this woman needs some serious psychological help. And I suspect that you may agree with me by the time we're done with this video.
I've chosen Trump. And people won't like it, and they won't understand it, but that doesn't matter right now because I'm going to change America, and I need him. He's an all-American boy that is all for America, and he is smart. He can't be bought. He can't be moved, and he cannot.
Okay, enough of that. That's been proven pretty dadgum false. Qatari jet, FIFA Peace Prize. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So, but there's people that believe that this woman actually speaks for a higher power with some sort of authority. Prophetess Kat Kerr guarantees 24 years of God in the White House. It's 2018. So what she's trying to say here is, as I understood it, 24 years of Republicans in the White House. And trust me, there were a lot of MAGA that bought it. But by the time I ran across Kat Kerr, I was already able to discern that she's a fraud.
Either for 8 years, I'll throw it in for free. Pence for 8 years, that's for free. And whoever Pence picks as vice president, 8 years, that's for free.
So, she said in 2018, 8 years of Trump, 8 years of Pence, and then 8 years of whoever was going to be Pence's vice president. I don't need to go any further into this video. If you really want to dive into it deeper, the link is in the description, but that was taken care of in, as you can see, 11 seconds. Oh. This girl thinks she's a weather warrior. And this is where things got heated with that gal on the panel. It's because and when I was younger, I believed this. I honestly did. That, Jesus did great things and his followers will do greater things. So I thought I'd be able to resurrect the dead if I had enough faith, that I would be able to control the weather just through the power of the words and in the name of Christ and all this. It's wild, people. It's wild because I was set up for it early. Way early. Like back in the 70s. Just saying. Anyway, let's take a look at this one and move right on through the next few videos as soon as we can.
Florence right now, we're speaking of Florence. It's already out there, okay? They've already named it as a hurricane. So we're going to take authority over Florence and we say you will become nothing. You will not do destruction. And I can't answer that right now, but I might later. You will not do destruction to land or to people or property. And we command the millibars to rise.
Okay, so none of that came through either, did it? And people wonder why I became an agnostic. It's because I was raised thinking that this was normal. All right, moving right along. I'm not even going to play this video. It's in the description, but you can see from the title there, Kat Kerr orders East Coast winter storm to put out California wildfires. After Donald Trump came out with Space Force, Kat Kerr came up with Spirit Force. And we'll probably get into that here in a moment. But yeah, this woman seriously needs some help. Yes, here's the introduction that moves into the whole Spirit Force concept. I'm gonna have to make another video about this woman. That's all there is to it. She's just crazy. And of course the disclaimers from Right Wing Watch, because that's very appropriate. Completely appropriate.
I can just tell you this from heaven. Trump is going to win. And no matter what the left and the liberals and the hate people and the fake news, no matter what they've come together, even with some very wicked people, to plot and plan the downfall of America, to make it a socialist country. You don't want that. If you're too young to understand, you don't want it. You thought it was bad with the quarantine. You should live that way for the rest of your life, because that's what happens in those third world countries. that have communism or socialism as their government. We in America are the land of the brave, the free, and the filled with God. And I can tell you that whole event was filled with the presence of God. And yes, there were 1,000 angels waiting. You know who these angels were? I could see them sitting all up in the upper stands and everything, the seats. And they were white. They just glowed with the glory of God. But they actually were wearing red, white, and blue robes. And the whole.
All right, all right. I got to pull the plug on her video at that. Kat, Kat, dear lady, please, please go get some help. Oh, all right. God took Prophetess Kat Kerr into the near future and showed her Trump back in the White House. This, hey, this is where I need to invoke Lance Wallnau's name, and I'm gonna have to do probably 2 or 3 videos on Lance Wallnau, or just one really big one to try to hit the really hardcore points on that chaos agent. Anyway, so she's a time traveler now too. This seems to be a growing theme within the MAGA movement. Candace Owens, apparently, I'm guessing Charlie was hitting on Candace when he told her that she was that he's a time traveler, or was a time traveler. That said, Charlie Kirk's death was uncalled for. Political violence is wrong. Vance Bolter killing the Holtmans and shooting the other family, that was wrong. All right, political violence is wrong, and I'm sorry, that was an inappropriate chuckle, but it just seems absurd that I need to say that. Anyway, yeah, let's take a look at this, at least part of this clip, and again with the disclaimers because it's appropriate.
I do know this for sure, and you can write it down. He will have his 4 years. If someone, let's say they cheated in the Olympics and someone found out later and they had authority and were putting on they were put in higher positions or whatever, and then the real person was found out to be not guilty but innocent, they would have to reestablish from that time period if contracts were given or things were promised. They wouldn't settle for like, well, I've got half of this contract left that now I can do. No, they will have to give Trump the full 4 years that he actually won in 2020. So he won't be president.
All right, so what she's getting at here is along the same lines of Mike Lindell, My Pillow Lindell, Mr. Pillow himself, used the analogy that if a thief knocks over a jewelry store, he has to give back all the diamonds, not most of the diamonds. So what they were trying to promote was that Donnie Boy had won the election, and then that it was going to all be set right, and the clock was going to restart on that day, which would have completely disrupted the entire presidential cycle. And the chaos that would have ensued from that would have just been absolutely insane. I mean, imagine having removed Joe Biden from office a year in and replacing that administration with a whole new administration from a different party. That would be like, it would be chaotic. But yeah, this time traveler. And they thought that and it didn't make any sense to me at the time, that I was already starting to ask questions about this whole narrative of under God's authority, Trump can step back in and take over the White House. And we'll get into that when I talk about Lance Wallnau. I've teased him a couple of times. Let's see. And this one, oh yeah, this is one of the fun ones. I'm not going to play the full 5 minutes. I don't think I need to. But yeah, let's just check this out.
They were on the earth when he made it the first time, which is another whole show. But I
Yeah,
will
it would
just
be.
say, when it says in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, okay, there's a time when he made the earth that mankind was not on the earth yet. He made it. It was beautiful. There was no sun to light it. It was lit by his glory. And there's a scripture, I think, in Jeremiah that talks about when God turned the light out. And then there was darkness upon the deep. So between verses 1 and 2 are millions of years. If you're not in that group, you'll.
All right, so the ideology that she's promoting here is the God of the Gaps theory. Um, she really takes it to a whole new level. What she's saying is, and she might have meant chapters 1 and 2 of the book of Genesis, because chapter 1 of the book of Genesis gives one creation story, and chapter 2 of the book of Genesis in the Bible gives a different creation story, which is why some people think that that Adam's first wife was Lilith, and that she didn't want to be subjugated. So she went off and did her own thing. And then there's this whole new creation story in chapter 2 where God sets everything right by creating Eve from Adam's rib. And there's this whole narrative around Lilith that parallels the Mark of Cain and the Curse of Ham stories. These people have so many ways of othering other individuals, cursed bloodlines and stuff like that. But anyway, let's let her say these words. All right.
You'll get over it when you get to heaven and find out. But when the dinosaurs were made, when he first made the earth, I was taken back. I saw it. It was the sky was like a peachy
Oh, again with the time travel.
pink. And there
Wow.
was this water vapor shield that he put around the original earth. It's still the same landmass, by the way. And it was round back then, not flat. How about that? So when he made the earth the first time,
Oh boy. So Kat Kerr is a globe earther, not a flat earther MAGA. All right. I had not caught on to that before. So I just learned something.
he made it. And there was no storms, there was no raining on the earth. So he had to have a
Hmm.
way to water these 100-foot high flowers that I saw there. They had forest of flowers. A small dinosaur could actually go stand under one if they wanted to.
Really?
None of the dinosaurs ate flesh.
Oh yeah, and you'll notice how uh, this Steve Schultz character just responds with no emotion. Right? That's how he works over there on the Elijah list. And we'll be going back to his work when we talk about some of these people in the future. I on the Robin Bullock video, I included an Elijah list clip. But let's get back to this.
When they were first made, they ate the vegetation, they ate the seeds, they ate the fruit. That's what he gave them to eat. When he first made them, they weren't wild, they weren't, harmful. That happened when Satan was cast out of heaven.
Hmm.
But when he made the earth the first time, it was beautiful. There was such peace. He put watcher angels who have.
Okay, the Watcher Angels, the that's a reference back to the Book of Enoch, which is not included in the standard canonized Bible, but it is included in the Ethiopian Bible. And I tell you what, the Book of Enoch is wild. It is so wild, and understanding how many of these MAGA preacher types, listening to their messages after I read through the Book of Enoch, I realized that these folks use non-canonical ideas. But anyway, uh, yeah. So the Watcher Angels, what that ends up doing in some areas is the Watcher Angels fell to Earth, And that's where you get the concept in the Bible of how the giants were created. You know, the angels took the daughters of men. And there's a whole sect within the MAGA movement that thinks that reference to those giants are actually Nephilim. And some of them even promote the idea that clowns, that face painted clowns, you know, goofy guys, goofy girls. Some of them are scary, of course, but I mean, that's how it works. But that clowns are actually a modern expression of worship of the Nephilim. It gets wild. Cursed bloodlines. It just, oh, good grief.
Flesh on them on the earth to care for the dinosaurs, and they would talk to them. The dinosaurs talk back to them. And so that was during that time.
Dinosaurs talk. Okay. Maybe she means like how my cat and I communicate. It's pretty rudimentary, but I can't do any more of this one. We're already 2 minutes in. If you want to watch the whole thing, the links are in the description. Yeah. So let's just. I've got this one and one more video, and then I'll be done with this gal for now. But there's some people, like I said, there's people that are willing to fight to defend this woman. And it just blows my mind. But I mean, they're in a cult, and they may not actually realize it. I didn't know I was in a cult until I was like, oh shit, I'm in a cult.
Every time during election time, I have been here at Capitol Hill to speak on behalf of the one who's running. You all know who I'm going to say. Yes, it's number 45. Yes, it's Trump. I'm just going to say his name right now. Why not? God talks about him all the time. No matter what you think about him, he picked him, he anointed him, and he appointed him. Do you know what he says about him? He's an all-American boy who's all for America. So yes, there are powerful plans that are going to happen. Yes, I am his prophet. I am his revelator. I revelate heaven all over this world and will continue to do so.
Okay, so that should be scary in and of itself. This woman is saying that she is Trump's prophet and revelator. How many times has she missed just in what little bit I presented in this 22 minutes so far? All right. This is a really short clip, but here we go. Here we go. This is where I'm going to close it out. And yeah, I'll see. We'll talk about this a little bit on the other side.
I sit as the high judge. No one can impeach me. And no one will be able to impeach Trump. I have appointed him, anointed him. He is my president for America and will be so until I am finished with his assignment. Anyone who tries to take his life will lose their life. For he has our protection. He has said yes to everything I have asked for. From the time he was sent from heaven, that was his assignment. And you may not like him. Not only do we love him for the honor he has given to the country that we love, but he makes us laugh.
So that's Kat Kerr. And you just heard her say it in her little prophecy. If you come after Trump, they're going to come after you. And that was November 20th, 2025. So I hope this provides a little bit more insight into yet another facet of the crazy teachings that these MAGA people buy into. I personally was never able to buy into Kat Kerr. I'll do a video on Julie Green at some point. I've got a couple more videos lined up, profiles lined up that I'm going to be dropping before long. And like I said, I got some articles that I wrote that I'm going to read out. They're fairly lengthy, so those are going to be longer videos. I I hope that what I am presenting allows people to better understand, to at least some degree, the kind of psychological profiles that we're dealing with when it comes to the Trump supporters, and especially the hardline ones. I've got some material that was passed to me a while back that I've been wanting to do a review video on. One of them is called Chatelet, and it actually includes some of the background behind this Pastor Chatelet character that I've debated with several times over the past few years. He is a diehard Trump sycophant, and he's a Kekistani high priest, for lack of better terms. So I debated him several times, and it's partially because of him that I've received as many death threats as I have, but have also had certain protections from certain sects within MAGA. It's a whole thing. We got to talk about Scientology before I can get into all that. Anyway, until the next video, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, rest if you can, and try to get plenty of fluids. It's crazy out here, folks. I'm just trying to do my part, trying to help get things untangled, but a lot of these people need some serious professional help.